So for real though, y'all, let me know down in the comments below. Would you rather somebody ghost you, not tell you nothing about why they stopped talking to you, or would you rather someone tell you, be upfront, be a grown man or woman, and let you know? Y'all already know what side I'm on.
Don't work at Mac, but I'll be the bitch face in a foreign.
Hey y'all, hey, it's Queen Beauty here and welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm back at it again with another Insecure review. So this week's episode is season 3, episode 6, I believe. Oh y'all, my eyebrows are popping today. But and this episode is called Obsessed Like. So before I get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button, share, do all that, you know, all of that, you know, just to show y'all support and just show me that y'all watching. Y'all like, you know, y'all see me, okay? But anyways, let's just get right into this video. Okay, so Obsessed Like starts off with Issa in her dream. She basically wakes up from her like having a dream about her teeth falling out, and I forgot what that means. Like, I literally do not remember what that means. I feel like, and the funny thing was, after I watched the episode, I was like, dang, I need to call my grandma and ask her, what does that mean? Because I want to know. Like, what does it mean for you to dream about your teeth falling out? The only dreams that I really remember, like, about that mean something is like when you dream about snakes, when you dream about a fish, you know, somebody pregnant. You know, random stuff like that. So I don't really remember what it means when your teeth falling out. I kind of wanted to look that up. I might look it up. But anyways, let me see real quick. Okay, so it says a common dream interpretation for teeth falling out is basically a fear of becoming less efficient or less productive. I guess that can go with what's been going on with Issa, and we can go back in full circle with that when I finish talking about it. But yeah, so basically, obviously Nathan still hasn't called sis. She is pressed. She's confused. She doesn't understand. It's literally been a week since she's talked to him or she's reached out to him, and he hasn't said anything. And the funny thing about it was, you know how like you be waiting for somebody to reach out to you, you be waiting for somebody to text you, and then you get a text message and you're like, okay, it's a text message, whatever. It was funny because she was in the shower and she heard her phone and she was like, okay, I think that's him. Like, she gets out the shower to see who it is, and I think it was like her mom sending her like a spiritual text message. And literally that has happened to me. Well, my mama don't be sending me spiritual text messages. It don't be her, but my mom gave my number to some lady at the church, and that lady be sending me spiritual text messages every time. I be wondering, you know, when I get ghosted, if the person's gonna text me, and then I get this spiritual text message from her. So it was just funny because I could relate so well. Like, literally the other day it happened, and like literally all these, I be deleting them, but lately these are the ones that I've been getting, like the church messages that say like, good morning beautiful people, my God, may God smile on you and take good care of you today. So it'd be stuff like that, and you be looking for your bae to text you, but then you be getting texts from the church lady. So I really identify with that, and that was just really funny to me because, yeah. And then it was funny because she saw that text message and she was like, oh my God. And then she tried to get back in the shower and she fell. So that was funny. So in the next scene, it is Molly on her date with Andrew. And I thought he was cute. I really did think he was cute. And I guess the more that I see him, I'm kind of thinking he's not that cute. I hate to be like that though. Basically, he calls her out and he's like, why you been dodging me? And she says she was embarrassed by, how she acted at Coachella. And she says that she doesn't have to work tomorrow, or she has to work, so she has to leave him. So basically she was saying like, but, I'm free tomorrow if you want to hang out or do something. So I thought that was cute because that means they about to go on another date. And I remember she was trying to order a drink or something, and he was like, oh, get the Thug Passion. And she was like, are we talking about a drink? And he was like, oh, we can be talking about it now, or something like that. It was cute. When she suggested that they can hang out next week, he was basically like, oh, well, yeah, you bring the passion and I'll bring the thug. And she was like, ain't nothing thug about you. You got baby hairs. She talking about leave it to me. I got the thug. I was like, oh my God, that is funny. He do got baby hairs. You know, they real slick back. We need to figure out what kind of gel he using to slick his hair back like that, or is it just water? So anyways, now the next scene is Lawrence and Chad. They just came in for playing basketball, and they're just talking, and basically Lawrence tells him that he's going to be busy tomorrow so they can't hang out, and he's like, what are you doing basically? And Lawrence decides that he's going to go to church, so he tells Chad that, and Chad was like, I guess I'll go with you there. It's gonna be bitches there too. I was like, oh my God, no, he not talking about bitches at church, even though church is a really good place to meet people if you're actually involved, if you do things, I guess. So I guess it's not too bad. He's not too off, but I wouldn't call them bitches. So yeah, so he agrees to go with him, so they're gonna go. So now it's Issa again, waking up from that same dream of her teeth falling out. And this time when she gets up and she goes to get ready and whatnot, and she, like, what's the reoccurring thing that keeps going on is she's talking in her head. Like, it's not her talking out loud, it's her talking in her mind. So that was kind of weird, because I don't know, it's just her in her head. It's her being negative and, you know, going through things in her own mind, like, because she is by herself, obviously. But yeah, I thought that was something to note that was going on. So when she looks in the mirror at herself, she's like, oh my gosh, sis, you cute. So she decides, she was like, oh, I'm cute. Maybe, what is, oh, I was gonna say Lawrence. Maybe, what is his name? I forgot already. Maybe Nathan forgot how cute she was. So in that moment when she was like, Nathan probably forgot how cute I was, and she started taking selfies, I'm screaming, no, like, no, sis, do not send him a selfie. That's what I was panicked about. But what she ended up doing is posting a picture on Instagram. So as soon as she posted, she gets a notification, and it's none other than her brother. He is so funny. Like, he is the funniest. He basically tells her, like, oh, don't you remember what I told you about that shirt? Burn it. And then he also was like, you being thirsty. Why is he like that? Like, why? And then I think Frida comments on it, and she's like, I have that same shirt. So that was funny. And then in that moment, she's just like, I don't know, he still doesn't reply back, like say anything to her. He still doesn't like her message. He doesn't do anything. So she's feeling like, you know, she's feeling how any girl would feel. Like, she's thinking, like, I don't know, I feel like it's stages that you go through when somebody ghosts you. So like with her, she was going through like the stage of regret. Like, basically because she was like, oh my gosh, like, I literally, all this N-word did was buy me a taco, and I busted wide open in a public place. Like, that's crazy. Like, literally, she was just thinking about all the things, like all the decisions she made, like all the things that she told him, everything like that. And she was saying, like, that's the reason he's probably not talking to her. And it was funny because she was like, I even told him that I talk rap to myself in the mirror. He probably thinks I'm a psycho. That's why he stopped talking to me. But the funny thing, well, not the funny thing, but the real thing is, like, I feel like when somebody goes to you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But regardless, Issa just felt like she told him too much and she gave him too much of herself, and it was a bunch of weird things that she feel that she shouldn't have. So basically, it's funny because, like, 1 minute she was like, you know, regretting everything that she's done and everything she told him, and the next minute she was just like full on stalking, and then the next minute she was like clowning him. And that's funny because those are the actual phases like a person goes through. Like, you be clowning him like, oh well, he wasn't even that cute anyways, like when you know he was, when you know that's the person you liked. And then you be jumping to conclusions too, because like on that part where she saw a woman, like he was kissing a woman, it seemed like it, on his page, literally she jumped to the conclusion of like, I knew it, I knew this, and she called the girl a B word and everything, and then she found out it was just his mama in the car. I was like, oh my gosh, that's for real. Like, that is exactly, I'm not gonna say every girl, what every girl goes through, because not everybody is, you know, like that, but I'm not even gonna lie, that's exactly how I be. Not even gonna lie, I can't help it. I really try to, but I can't. Y'all, this pigment is popping. Like, I like this way more than I would like actual glitter, like trying to put glitter on my eyes, because it would just take too much. So in some parts she was basically trying to do her project, her community project, and she wasn't being able to because she kept getting distracted and kept wanting to see what was going on with Nathan, because, you know, obviously it gets annoying. Like, you can become obsessed with something like that, especially if the fact that everything was going fine, this boy just told you he liked you, y'all spending a lot of time, he's supportive, he's something different from what you're used to or what you haven't had in a long time, and now all of a sudden he just disappears. So I feel like it's justified craziness. Like, I feel like it's very justified. Like, I don't think nothing's wrong with it. I can understand how sometimes it gets overboard, but at the same time, it's justified. Sis has the right to feel the way she feels about that. So anyways, I know she was trying to do her project, like I said, and then she got distracted and got back on his page. And the funny thing about it was, she ends up going on his page. I guess the rest of them, they have like a fake, like a Finsta, like a fake account, which I didn't even know people really had. And it was funny because it was one with her friends. So basically she was just like, she was trying to log into it, and then supposedly Kelly changed the password, so she had to like get the new password. She logged in and she decides that she's gonna send Nathan a message from the Finsta, fake Instagram, and I was like, oh my god. But I was waiting for her to do it, and like she started to send it, and then she ended up not sending it, which I really wanted her to send it. But you know what, it's okay that she did it, because I just thought that was really smart. And I really want my friends, actually I feel like my friends already have fake Instagrams without me, so I don't know. Are you a hater if you have a fake Instagram, or are you just like, I don't know, do you tell people it's your fake Instagram? I don't know how it goes. Like, somebody needs to educate me on like, what do you do with a fake Instagram, other than send hate comments maybe, or like things you shouldn't be liking online. And then in the next scene, Lawrence is at church with Chad, and basically they're just like, you know, enjoying the sermon, I guess. In the sermon, I think the man was talking about like, forget about who's liking you now and remember who's loving you, the Lord. And then he was like, he said something about like, what's happening with your soul and how are you taking care of it, I guess. And then he also spoke on Dang it, I don't have any more hydrating primer left. He also spoke on, I guess he just did like an altar call. And I really like altar calls, even though I never go up there. But I feel like what they be talking about right before the altar call, it really be moving my spirit. And I do be wanting to go up there, but I don't. And I felt that I kind of like, Lawrence wasn't really feeling it. He kind of felt like it was too much, I guess. And it was funny because right in the middle of the sermon, what is his name? Dad was talking about bitches, and then the next minute he was going up there for altar call. So I was like, okay. Also, you see Molly going to her car or getting in her car or something, and she's talking to the dude Torian about their project that they're supposed to present, and he keeps pushing it off. So she was kind of annoyed by that. So that happened. In the next scene, it is Chad and Lawrence leaving church, and you can tell they both feel differently about their experience. Chad acting like he about to be real involved and get into everything, while Lawrence is a little hesitant about, you know, what happened in church. And I guess he's not really, you know, feeling it too much, and he feels like it was a little too much going on. So it's funny because literally a girl walks up to him and they're just joking around and stuff, and basically he just meets a church girl and they're just talking. And I thought that was, I don't know, I really, to tell you the truth, I'm not here for Lawrence being with anybody else. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it at all. So I'm not really caring. Not at all. In the next scene, what color is this? Oh Lord. In the next scene, Molly is on another date with Andrew, which I'm super happy that when somebody says hang out nowadays, that means hang out in the house, and I don't want to hang out with nobody in my house. But in their case, you know, he actually took her out to hang out at a restaurant. It doesn't always have to be a restaurant, but I'm just saying, like, nobody, I mean, other people do, but me personally, I don't want to hang out with you at my house. I'm tired of being at home. I'm at home all the time. So, you know, get me out. Even if I say hang out, that means get me out. Let's hang out outside of my house, outside of your house. I definitely don't want to go over there. So yeah, I thought that was nice. They get there and they're just talking, and she tells him about her partner keeps putting her off, and he was like, well, just beat her up. I mean, beat him up. Like, you know, it's whatever. Do what you gotta do. And they laugh about that. And it's funny because I was just telling my friend today, I was like, in that part of the scene, I literally laughed out loud, because every time I tell my friend a problem, every single time, it never fails. She just be like, well, beat her up. I can't beat up everybody, okay? I can't do it. So, and in her defense, she tells me real advice afterwards, but she always just says, you know, well, beat them up, like, get to it. So that'd be funny. But he just goes on to be like, oh, well, you know, Molly Squared told me that she had a bullying phase, so, you know, she can do it. And then she was like, basically they were talking about, like, do you remember, like, what we talked about at Coachella? And she was like, oh yeah, I remember you telling me that you made out with your friend's girlfriend. And then she goes on to be like, and that's grimy. And then he was like, well, grimy knows grimy, because you told me that you had sex with a married man. So he literally came. He came for her. Well, he didn't come for her, but, you know, it was a lot. So anyway, she gets mad and she gets a nasty attitude about it. Like, she gets offensive about it, and she's like, well, you don't know the situation. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what happened. And then she goes on to be like, well, he was like, well, since I don't know the situation, you know, let me know, educate me. And that's when she was like, well, basically I was led to believe something else. No, she said basically, well, she didn't say his name, but basically she was saying was Dro led her to believe something it wasn't. And then the funny thing was Andrew laughed about it and he was like, a married man led you on? And I know in that moment she felt stupid. She felt stupid. And then he was like, wow. And then she didn't laugh. She didn't say anything. She was just like, I don't remember what she said. She said something like, it's not funny. And he was like, oh, well, I apologize. I didn't know it was still a sore subject. So the man didn't apologize. Like, he's sorry. Like, you know, whatever. But literally, he was like, you know, if it makes you feel any better, you can beat me up. But she was like, nah, what'll make me feel better is I leave. And she literally got up and left. Like, that was it. And I was like, oh, okay, well then. In my opinion, I don't feel like he was wrong. Like, obviously he does not know the situation. He does not know what kind of dynamic y'all had, you and Dro. But at the same time, you can't get mad at him for making a joke out of it or laughing about it, or, you know, because he still ended up apologizing. So I didn't really see the problem. I understand that, you know, like, when you're not over things, you get mad about things. So that's what I feel like about the situation. She's not over Dro. She's not over everything. And she just got that information about him having a baby. So, you know, it's all coming fast at her. And that's fine. She can be upset about that. But you can't penalize this man because you made a mistake or you did something in your life that you don't want nobody to have an opinion on. It's back on Issa, and Issa waking up again with the same dream of her teeth falling out, which obviously she has not gotten anything done in the last whatever how many days it's been on her project, really, because she's been so focused on what's going on with Nathan and why he hasn't been calling. That morning, she gets woken up out of her dream and she thinks it's Nathan calling, but it's actually one of her boss, the owner of the apartment complex, telling her that the plumber has been outside waiting for her for about an hour. So she literally, when she runs out there, she was like, oh my gosh, Nathan did this to me because I was up all night worrying about him. And which is the funniest logic. And then the funny thing is, she sees on Instagram that I guess he posts something, or one of his clients posts something and say thank you. And she's like, so you alive cutting hair and shit and can't text nobody back? It's the alive part, like he was dead. He not dead. They'll never be dead. They just be ignoring us. We just gotta get over them. Get over them immediately. Just kidding, take your time. So now she like super duper pissed about it, which is understandable. And she was basically saying like he a grown ass man on some childish ass shit, which is true, which is extremely true, because that's childish. Like ghosting somebody, like that's real annoying too. Like don't do that to nobody. Put that down in the comments. Like let me know, would you rather somebody ghost you and you not know why they ghost you and what happened or anything, or would you rather them tell you? Me personally, I would rather someone tell me, only because I don't like the what if, like the wondering, like the oh my gosh, like this person really doesn't like me, I don't understand why. Like that's literally what goes through people's head, well, what goes through my head if somebody ghosted me. So for real though, y'all, let me know down in the comments below, would you rather somebody ghost you, not tell you nothing about why they stopped talking to you, or would you rather someone tell you, be upfront, be a grown ass man or woman and let you know? Y'all already know what side I'm on. You already know. In this scene, it goes back to Molly, and Molly is talking with her boss about the presentation she was supposed to do with the dude Torian, and she tells him, you know what, I can do it myself. I got this. You know, I got a lot of ideas. So she ends up doing the presentation for them, and in the end, you know, she does really wonderful and great on it. And at that moment, Issa calls her and asks her for a favor. Sis, the favor is crazy. So the favor was her and Molly go to Andrew's house just to see, you know, if Nathan is there. Bring Andrew some cupcakes or whatever. Show up at his door with cupcakes, basically for an apology. And Molly was like, nah, I don't really want to do that because you got me out here looking thirsty for somebody that's canceled. And she canceled him because of what happened on their date, which, like I said, I really don't feel like he should be canceled, but you know, to each his own. That's another thing. Do y'all feel like Andrew should be canceled? Like, because of the date and because of their conversation? Like, he didn't know, so how can you penalize somebody that doesn't even know? And also in the car, it was kind of funny because Issa was like, I don't understand why he ghosted me, basically. Like, I mean, sometimes I be kissing weird. Sometimes my tongue be doing just like, you know, its own thing. I thought that was so funny. Like, sis, not your tongue be doing its own thing sometimes. I've never heard that. They end up going through with the plan. Molly goes to the door. I don't know why, but I really thought that Issa wasn't gonna go up to the door, but when she did, I was like, oh my gosh, this about to be some mess. I already feel it. Answers the door. It's just Andrew, and literally Issa looks like a crackhead. Like, literally, she starts looking like a crackhead, talking about she gotta go to the bathroom because Andrew tells him that Nathan's not there. And I'm like, okay, oh Lord, this about to be crazy. I already know it. So Issa starts to go upstairs, and Andrew was like, there's a bathroom down here, but you know, Molly intervenes and basically starts trying to distract him or whatnot. So she basically distracts him, and they're just talking. Issa is doing her own thing, going all up and do everything, but we'll get back to that. As Molly is talking to Andrew, the funny thing about it was she went to him basically saying like, what are y'all doing here, blah blah, and she was just like, oh, I really came here to apologize, for real. And so he's like, you know, me making a bad joke and you leaving me in a bar by myself is not the same thing. It's not the equivalent of, you know, stuff. So it kind of was, you know, a little rude and unfair. So he basically goes on to say like, the Molly he met at Coachella and the Molly that he met here are two totally different Mollys. And basically he's saying like, you know, the crazy thing, what he said was, he was like, what I realized or what I noticed is, are they both fucked up? And I was like shook. Like, I couldn't even believe he So literally what's going on is Issa is upstairs. It cuts back to her being upstairs and snooping through Nathan's stuff, trying to get into his computer, looking through his trash, a bunch of crazy things. I feel like she has, you know, gone overboard. I'm not sure if it's still justifiable. Not sure if it's still okay. You know, I had her back up until, you know, going to his house. I think that's what it was that took me over and made me come back in, you know, to realize that there is a crazy that can be too much. So anyways, Molly ends up walking in on her and looking at her like, bitch, I know you weren't finna go through his computer. And so like, they're in the car and they're talking, and like they finally got out of the house, and Molly's just basically saying like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you so like stuck on this? And I don't know, I just feel like I'm a Issa in a bunch of situations. But you know what? Let's get off of me. Let's get out of my business. I don't know, and I feel like maybe a lot of people could relate to like how she's feeling and what's going on with her. Molly ends up saying like, sis, like these don't care about nobody and they will have you acting different and I guess like acting out of character, especially for them. And I know that can happen sometimes, like changing who you are or changing just how you are sometimes for a man. So I feel like that's what Molly was talking about. And then Issa talks about how like she feels it's her fault. And Molly asks her why did she think that? And Issa goes on to state like I was too honest with him and I scared him away. And that's what Molly was like, sis, if you being real scared him away, why would you want somebody like that? And I was like, dang, that's good advice. That's it right there. She really just goes on about like, she was like, what is it about him? And Issa says this is what she said exactly. She said, he made me feel more not like a fuck up. And who knows who will ever make me feel that way again. And I felt like that was so sad. Like, Issa's not a mess up. Like, all she did was have the courage to quit her job, and now she's on to a different project, a new project, and I feel like she doesn't have any faith in herself, and she continues to be inside her head. And you got to jump outside of that, and you got to be strong, and you got to be brave, and you got to just do what you got to do. You can't count on somebody else to put you up, like to help you out or whatever. That's what I feel. The next scene, Lawrence is on a date with this church girl. Like I told y'all already, I don't care about who Lawrence is dating. I did not watch this show for Lawrence to date anybody. No. He needs to be going after Issa. I'm sorry. And I kind of feel like they're going to come back around to each other. They're going to meet. I know it is. And they just talk about their church experience, and the girl talks about how she got more connected to God by, actually being active. And I feel like that's a real thing. And I feel like I'm in the same boat with Lawrence as like, I haven't found my church home. I've been in Tallahassee for like 5 years, but I haven't found a specific church home, and I really want to find one. And that's really about it. Like, because a lot of different churches are so like crazy and so over dramatic and stuff like that. And back home at my church home in my hometown, it's more quiet, it's more old-fashioned, and I just haven't found that here. So I can understand what he's going through, like looking for that and getting discouraged in the fact of going to church because it's just something that you're not used to and something that you don't like, I guess. We go back to Issa, and Issa's just thinking crazy again about like the Nathan situation and stalking and all that different stuff. And I felt like as soon as, before I say this, she decides to like unfollow him and delete his contact, and Molly ends up calling and checking on her to see how she is, which is a really good friend. But the funny thing is, I feel like as soon as she does all that, like stops thinking about him completely, he's gonna come right back, because that's always how they do it, and that's so annoying. Lawrence gets a text message about Bible study, and he says that he might go, he might not go. Issa goes to a workshop about her program, I guess, to help her get everything prepared and whatnot. So, okay. I'm done with my face. Now, where was I? What was I talking about? Okay, let's see. So like I said, Molly gets ignored by the dude Torian, I guess because she did the presentation without him. But I mean, what do you expect? I guess low-key she losing a lot of friends because she don't got them girls, and now she don't got him, so she don't got nobody right now. But just know Molly's now gonna feel a little alone, I guess, at work. And I don't know, I felt like it was a good thing that she actually stepped forward and did it on her own. But I guess dude probably feels like she stepped on his toes or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that situation. So the next scene, you find out that Lawrence actually suggested for Issa to go to that workshop that she's at. So I think she ends up texting him and she ends up texting him and they run into each other to meet up to just talk. And so basically she ends up inviting him out for coffee. They go sit down for coffee and they're literally just talking and they're laughing about Thug Yoda and about how they miss the Dunes, like their old apartment and whatnot. And they're also I don't know, Issa ends up talking about how it's been a rough time for her because she's been staying on people's couches. And I was mad because Dro, what is his name, Ron J on Twitter, he was like, who couch, Issa, who couch? Listen, mind your business, Messy. Mind your business. Don't worry about what couch she's staying on. Obviously she didn't tell Lawrence on purpose, so get out the business. But anyways, so basically she was just talking about how she was staying on people's couches and she had to realize on her own that you can't keep letting people prop you up. You can't keep depending on other people. At some point you have to just get up and do shit for yourself. Like, you got to get up and do what you got to do on your own without anybody else. And I feel like she should take her own advice when it comes to the community project, because she needs to not worry about who's supporting her or who's helping her or whatnot. Like, worry about doing it on your own. And I think Lawrence ends up asking her about the block party and how's it going, and she basically was just saying her doubts about it, and he was like, you're probably in your head about it. You need to get out of that. And she was like, yeah, I'm really trying to change that. And he was like, yeah, I'm really trying to change too. I went to church yesterday. And I guess it's a big thing that he doesn't go to church or he doesn't do that. And she ends up giving him advice, basically saying like, there's other churches. Like, you just got to find the church for you. I think she ends up talking back about her program, her community program that she's trying to do. And she says it's called For You, By You or something like that. And they laughed because they was like, that's FUBU. And that's basically the end of the episode. I thought it was a cute episode. I really liked it. I especially liked to see into like, okay, I'm not alone. Like, I'm not the only person that feels like goes through the mini obsessive phase when someone ghosts you. So I really like that part of everything. But other than that, I remember in the little wind down thing, the producer dude, he was like, he ended it like when they got finished talking about everything and talking about, when people ghost you, when people stalk you and stuff like that. He was like, may you be free of ghosts and stalkers, for the rest of your time, But I just really enjoyed the episode. I think that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And Clean Beauty out.